Yo, 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 welcome back to the MMA Short Show. Is always your boy, Steven Moustaris. And guys, man, let's get straight into it. This co-main event this weekend, UFC 291, we got Jan Blachowicz and we got Alex Pereira. It sounds like on paper, not the worst fight in the world. Am I that excited for it? I don't know why. I really don't know why this fight's that doesn't get me that going. I don't know if it's because, I've kind of been pretty outspoken about how I don't think Alex Pereira even deserved a title fight at middleweight, and I know it's hard to say that when he did beat Izzy. We already know what he did in kickboxing, but I'm saying an MMA fight, his first title fight, he does. It looks like he's going to get just a clean sweep, and then all of a sudden he gets that last second knockout of Izzy, and then goes on and looks really, really good in that first round in the second fight. But then Izzy ends up, we've all seen the memes, we've all seen the bow and arrow through him. It was one of the wildest things I've ever seen, but I just don't know if I'm really that big of a believer in Alex Pereira deserving what he's gotten in 6 UFC fights. Come on, guys. Let's be honest here. I know I'm not dumb here. I know he's a great kickboxer. I know he's a great stand-up artist. I know he's a great knockout power. It's just, I just don't know what this fight doesn't get it going for me like that. And if you're Jan Blachowicz too, this is a huge moment to get back on track here. If you're the UFC as as an organization, you give Izzy his chance to go up and become a double champ. And, on paper, I remember a lot of people were like, oh, Izzy's going to beat Jan for sure. But then here comes good old Jan, just pulls that fight out. Not the most exciting fight of all time, but it was cool to see, just how, high his IQ was. And I'm talking about Blachowicz here. His IQ was insane in that fight. Just how smart he was to get the fight to the ground, certain positions to know how to handle it. Did I think Izzy did more damage? Of course. But, at the same time, it's this odd thing where then Jan goes on and it's like, okay, he should take all that power, star power and stuff from beating an Izzy. And then he has two of the most hard fights that he could possibly have, at least outcome wise, where he has that fight with Alexander Rakic, I think was his very next fight. And Alexander blows out his knee within the first round or whatever. So it's okay, Jan wins, cool. But did he really win? And then he gets that fight with Magomed Ankalaev, and it was probably the most boring title fight we've ever seen there. I think, December 10th of 2022 or something. And then, of course, I just don't know, guys. I just don't know how I feel about Jan Blachowicz currently. He's 40 years old. I feel like we've seen the best of him. I don't want to be an asshole because I know light heavyweight and heavyweight with the heavier weights, especially, you could get away with being 40, 42, 43 and kind of still sticking around. But I don't know, man. And, the thing with Jan that's really cool, too, that I really want to see a little plot line going on is, can he keep his undefeated streak going against these middleweights? I think he's knocked out, or not knocked out, but taken out. He beat Jared Cannonier. That was before he went down to 185, to be fair. That's when he came from heavyweight, fought light heavyweight for a quick minute, got a coffee there, loses to Jan or whatever, and then goes down to 185. But still, that's a win against a 185er. He beat Jacare Souza, his first fight coming up to light heavyweight, and also Luke Rockhold, one of the craziest knockouts you've ever seen. And then, of course, the Izzy fight. So the dude's 4-0 against, the middleweight division, and it seems like he's that gatekeeper for the light heavyweight division for some reason. I know Jan did fight at middleweight at one point in time, but at 205, it's he's the perfect guy to, okay, I don't know why the UFC keeps doing it, but it's kind of cool how he just matches up with these 185ers who want to test himself at 205. But if we're being honest here, guys, the thing that really sticks out between the difference of Alex Pereira against a Ronaldo Souza, a Jacare Souza, a Luke Rockhold, even a Jared Cannonier, and honestly, even a Izzy, the dude's way bigger. He's probably a natural 205er for sure. Maybe a natural 210, 215, really. So the height's there, the size is there. And I think that's going to cause a lot of problems for Jan, especially a 40-year-old Jan who maybe is not as fast anymore. And I would love to see how his epic Polish power is going to be against Alex Pereira. But if we're keeping this real, guys, keeping this 100% real here, this fight could be very boring. Jan Blachowicz could take him down maybe easily if he gets his hands on Alex Pereira, which I don't think is going to be easy. Alex Pereira is fucking filthy good, but especially with distance control and stuff. But if we saw Izzy take him down, just imagine what a guy like Jan's going to do to him. It could be over quick. It could be one of them where we're like, ooh, why was Alex even in this fight? That type of thing. But at the same time, it is older Jan Blachowicz here. And if we're being nice for Alex Pereira, if you're a Poton fan, This guy, I mean, honestly, man, he could be off to the races again. We could be hyping ourselves up here for another title run for Alex Pereira, and we're sitting here like, dude, never had to fight a wrestler ever, like a pure wrestler, and he's in here just fucking taking belts. So, it could be cool. The one thing that I'm really worried about with Alex Pereira, if we're being real here, especially if Jan still got that epic Polish power that we were always talking about, Alex did just get knocked out very fucking badly against Izzy, not even, 3 months ago or something. So that one kind of scary to me. I don't like when we see that stuff. I know I'm not a coach or I'm not a doctor here or anything, but I've always been a firm believer. I like when I see these guys who especially get clean cocked like that, knocked out. Like maybe, the doctor stoppage or whatever, or the ref stop in the fight or whatever, and you're still consciously there, maybe. But no, he got cocked out cold, guys. One punch, knocked out. See you later in Dreamville. Shouts out to J. Cole. But no, seriously, it was, man, I just don't like seeing fighters come back that quick. I like them taking a year. But again, I'm not a coach or anything. So I'm really excited for this fight. I think Alex Pereira has got everything to win. But I do feel bad for Jan because I think if Jan gets an easier win or makes it look a little easier, like with takedowns and stuff, I don't know what that's going to do for him at 205. I know it's going to be cool that he gets a big win over the guy who is just a champion at 185. But still, it's more like, dude, all right, now if we're being real here, of 6 fights in the UFC, like, is it that big of a win? So I don't know. It seems like all the chips are in Alex Pereira's corner here, and we're going to see what happens. But as always, your boy, Steven Moustaris, and y'all let me know what y'all think for sure. And let's go, baby. Let's go.